She said, "Oh my God, the bar is burning, and I think she's inside."
Initially had no idea what the cause of the fire was.
What did the medical examiner find that was so shocking?
They found out that she had died from being stabbed in the neck 5 times. They found Lisa's body in the basement underneath some of the wreckage.
They couldn't believe that a monster like that could be in their town, in their community.
Now the hunt's on. It's like, I'm going to find you however long it takes. A lot of times, especially with arson cases, they'll come back and watch the fire. He told her he wanted to tie her up and sexually do things to her.
I wouldn't believe there would be a person around that would do that kind of thing to such a kind-hearted person.
Like I said, the devil's in the details, and as the details were getting more and more varied, the flags were coming up. It didn't mean anything, just straight evil.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's crime expose takes us to Saxon, Wisconsin. This small town was rocked to its core when a beloved tavern was burned to the ground. The shocking fire shattered this once peaceful community. And when firefighters pieced through the wreckage, what they discovered would bring a family face to face with a monster.
Sheriff's Department.
The building next to the Saxon pub in Saxon is completely engulfed in flames. There's a car parked out front of the building. I don't know if there's someone in the building, but it is completely up in flames right now.
It was just after 3 in the morning when a deeply concerned citizen called the Sheriff's Department. What did the caller report?
The caller reported that there was a fire at the Bear Trap Inn, the local bar restaurant that's located in the town of Saxon.
When firefighters arrived at the Bear Trap Inn, could they save it?
It was completely engulfed, completely destroyed the building.
Many of the firefighters had been regulars at the tavern and were stunned when they saw a familiar car parked out front.
They saw that the bartender, Lisa Waldros' vehicle was still in the parking lot, and she was unaccounted for.
Lisa's husband, Dean, was immediately notified. How did you find out the Bear Trap was on fire?
Her sister, Casey, that owns the place, called me at about 3 o'clock. She said, "Is Lisa home?" I said, "No." She said, "Oh my God, the bar is burning, and I think she's inside."
Dean raced to the scene in a panic. And when you saw her car was still out front, what was your reaction?
Oh, I said, "Oh my God, she is in there."
I can't even imagine the terror you must have felt.
Oh, very terrifying. Flames were all over. They were going through the roof already, and the whole place was glowing inside.
Just a few hours before, Dean had joined his wife at the inn to celebrate a family member's birthday. The moment he said goodbye to Lisa has remained etched in his memory.
Gave me a kiss and said, "I'll see you later, honey. I'll be home early." And that was the last I talked to her.
Once the flames were subdued, investigators combed through the rubble, but their search ended in the worst way possible.
They found Lisa's body in the basement underneath some of the wreckage.
How could it have happened? It was just almost impossible to believe that she's gone.
Fire marshals searched what was left of the building for clues.
Initially had no idea what the cause of the fire was.
What did you think happened?
I thought it was the gas stove, a malfunction on the gas stove, because the knobs on there didn't have a safety on them. If you bumped them while you were cleaning, the gas might have been left on, and I thought maybe there was a gas explosion that started it.
Did it seem likely to you the fire started in the kitchen?
Yes, it did. Could have been a number of causes: electrical, furnace, kitchen fire, could have been anything. They have to determine cause of the fire. whether it's mechanical, electrical, or intentional. If it was intentional, how was it started and where was it started?
And when Lisa's autopsy report came in, the results were a bombshell. What did the medical examiner find that was so shocking?
They found out that she had died from being stabbed in the neck 5 times and was still alive during the fire, as there was soot in her mouth, trachea, lungs, and had some carbon monoxide in her system.
And there was more. An accelerant had been found on Lisa's clothing. What was your reaction when you learned she had gasoline on her clothes?
It's just terrible that being stabbed 5 times, but then to still be alive when you're set on fire before she actually expired is very heartbreaking.
The savageness of the crime was almost impossible to comprehend. Dean, when you heard that horrific news, how did you feel?
Oh, I was just bawling. You know, it was just hard to believe that somebody would do that to a person. I wouldn't believe there would be a person around that would do that kind of thing to such a kind-hearted person.
The grisly details spurred investigators forward.
It's heartbreaking. It's going to be, the family's already torn apart because she's dead. The manner in which she died makes it worse, makes you that much more motivated to find who did this.
Lisa Waldros had been stabbed to death just moments after her shift had ended at the Bear Trap Inn. The kind-hearted 52-year-old was known for her hard work and dedication to helping children in the community.
You couldn't get a better person ever that put so much time in for kids.
The whole community must have been so scared. How do they feel as a whole when they learned about Lisa's murder?
They couldn't believe that a monster like that could be in their town, in their community.
You must have felt a lot of pressure to put Lisa's killer behind bars.
Someone came in and brutally murdered her. Now the hunt's on. It's like, I'm going to find you however long it takes.
Investigators questioned everyone who knew her, searching for the key to cracking the case.
Were enemies? Were there any enemies?
And was there anybody you found in Lisa's life who might have wanted to harm her?
There were no known enemies. She was very liked in the community.
It was Lisa's sister who gave authorities a disturbing lead. She said Lisa had recently been frightened by a strange man. Detectives quickly identified their suspect, C.J. Houle. Were you able to determine if he had been at the crime scene at the time of Lisa's murder?
We tracked him to Canada and found out that he was in Canada, had been held in Canadian custody prior to the fire, so he was ruled out.
The investigation was back to square one. But then a tip came in that detectives believed might blow the investigation wide open. The tipster said a former boyfriend of Lisa's daughter and the boyfriend's roommate had committed the crime, and that on the night of the murder, the roommate had been spotted lurking around the area while the Bear Trap Inn was burning to the ground.
Officers that were at the scene doing crowd control when the fire was going on observed the roommate watching the fire wearing hooded sweatshirt and dark pants.
There was a reason why you found it suspicious he had been at the scene.
Especially with arson cases, they'll come back and watch the fire. So we have some red flags that are going on.
Armed with a warrant, detectives scoured the two boys' apartment for clues.
Could we find a knife, bloody clothes? Could we find something from the bar in the residence?
And did you find any evidence that connected them to Lisa's murder?
There was nothing evidentiary that we could find that would link them to her murder.
Detectives were forced to move on. The disappointing setback only intensified their investigation.
You have to look everywhere and turn over every rock that you can turn over to try and find that one little piece you need to try and chase down who actually did this.
Did you fear it was only a matter of time before Lisa's killer struck again?
Like I say, you have only so much resources and so much time to find this person that's out there before something else happens.
Detectives investigating Lisa Waldros' murder feared her case might be going cold. But then a tip came in about a suspicious man who had been walking his dog while the Bear Trap Inn was burning. The man's name was Donald Rick.
On the morning of the fire, he was talked to by an officer because he had been walking his dog, and there was a dog bite incident where it bit one of the neighbors.
And when police took a close look at his background, they knew their investigation was heating up.
He was convicted of sexual assault. He was still on supervision for it through the state. He had a prior conviction for an armed robbery using a knife. He had been suspected and charged with prior arsons.
When you saw Donald Rick's criminal history, what were you thinking?
We checked every box for what we found at the scene at that point.
And that wasn't all.
He had lived a little over a block away from the bar itself.
But when Rick was brought in for questioning, he said surveillance footage would show that he was shopping with his girlfriend at the local Walmart at the time of Lisa's murder.
He said he didn't know anything about the fire other than he had saw it burning when it came back.
Donald Rick claimed he had an ironclad alibi for the moment Lisa had been killed, but detectives quickly determined the timestamp on the Walmart surveillance footage only proved he had plenty of opportunity to commit the crime. And the more details Donald Rick provided, the more Special Agent Gerald Kachka knew he was lying.
The devil's in the details, and as the details were getting more and more varied, the flags were coming up, and okay, well, now I'm gonna really dig into him.
Detectives searched Rick's home for evidence. What did you find?
A number of different knives and other items that looked like they had been bloodstained.
The knives were immediately sent to the lab for processing. And what were the results?
There was no evidence found on any of it.
The results were frustrating. But during interviews with Rick's girlfriend, Jessica Carley, she too kept changing her story, and detectives called her on it.
Okay, now we're going to pressure her a little harder on this, and then she said, yes, I did lie, and at that point, now I had the piece that I need.
She admitted Donald Rick had committed Lisa's murder because he had decided to rob the Bear Trap Inn.
Donald wanted to commit a robbery of some sort, wanted to go down to that bar, and she basically was do whatever you want to do, and later that night saw him get on the mask, grab his knife, and leave.
Armed with her statement, detectives confronted Rick, and under pressure, he finally agreed to give a full confession. What did Donald Rick tell you he had done on the night of Lisa's murder?
Donald said that he had been out gambling earlier, lost his money, and decided he wanted to go do a robbery somewhere to get some more money.
He said he went to the Bear Trap Inn and waited until everyone left, except the bartender.
Lisa was there by herself. He was watching through the window as she was cleaning up, and he waited as she came to the back door to go out, and as soon as she opened the door, he ran in and tackled her.
Donald Rick admitted he stabbed Lisa to death and then decided to get rid of the evidence.
He went back to his residence, got a can of gasoline from there, went back into the bar, poured gasoline on her, gasoline on the bar.
Then he opened her purse, grabbed the money, and went back to his house. How much money did he say he took?
He divided the money up between himself and Jessica Carley, which turned out to be, I think he said was like $198. Went in and murdered this lady and burned down the bar for $198. It made it even worse. Did she say anything? Did she do anything? He says after he stabbed her, she asked him why. That was it.
$198. How difficult was that for you to hear?
Oh, it was terrible. It didn't mean anything to him. It was no remorse. It was nothing. He was just straight evil. It said that when he had taken his bag of bloody clothes and the knife and everything from the bar, and he and Jessica went down to the river and he threw it in.
Donald Rick pled guilty to first-degree murder.
Because when I went in there, I had not one intention of anyone dying. I'm going to get some money and I'm going to get the out of here. Was morally me stealing something from someone, you know? I mean, maybe I'm just up in the head, but it's never bothered me to steal. If I needed something, I need it. And I know it ain't right because I don't want someone stealing from my mom or stealing from someone, but I stuck that lady in the throat. So guess what? I got to pay. Someone killed my mom, you know. I'd want them dead, so, you know, now that's someone else's mom, so I deserved it. And we don't have no death penalty here, but okay, well then I guess it's life in prison, you know. I mean, Christ, how many chances are they supposed to give me? Armed robbery, go to prison in Michigan, get out. Burglary in Wisconsin, do 2 or 3 years, get out. Statutory rape in Wisconsin, do 10 years, get out. There's got to be a time when you just say that's it, you know.
It's a great feeling that you can bring them some closure. It's heartbreaking. It's going to be, the family's already torn apart because she's dead. The manner in which she died makes it worse. But we got this evil entity off of the street permanently. And they know that the person that killed their Lisa is not going to be free to do this again. So it felt good, but it's a tragedy still.
What went through your mind when you heard why he had killed Lisa?
I couldn't believe anybody would do that for that little bit of money. I'd give all the money I ever earned in my life to have her back. It was hard to deal with it. I mean, in the court, I just wanted to get out of my chair and choke him.
For Lisa's husband, Rick's conviction was the conclusion of a devastating journey. But the pain of losing his wife will never fully heal. So what are the moments, Dean, when you think about Lisa the most?
Every day. Every minute. Every morning I get up, I think about it. And I tell her how much I love her.
Donald Rick was sentenced to life in prison without parole for murdering Lisa Waldros and setting fire to the Bear Trap Inn. Lisa's husband will be forever grateful to investigators for never giving up and for bringing justice to his family and their entire community. And now it's time for today's Safety Spotlight. The chilling case of Lisa Waldros demonstrates the importance of workplace safety and preparedness. Businesses should provide employees training on security protocols, emergency procedures, and how to recognize and respond to potential threats and violent crimes. No employee should be left alone, especially at night. Consider hiring security or putting another employee on duty. The presence of a fellow employee or security officer may make criminals think twice about targeting your business. Protecting employees should always be a top priority, and taking these steps could help prevent tragedies and enhance workplace safety. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.